The iron gates groaned open, the sound echoing through the cold autumn air. Elena clutched her canvas bag tighter, cold wind slicing through her cardigan like knives. 3 miles from the bus stop, and her shoes were soaked through, water squelching with each step. The eviction notice crinkled in her pocket with every movement. 3 days left. Blackthorn Manor rose before her through the dying light. Gray stone, pointed towers, dead ivy crawling up the walls like dried blood. She climbed the worn steps, each one smooth in the center from centuries of feet. The massive oak door opened before she could knock. A man stood in the doorway. Elena's breath caught in her throat so hard it hurt. He was impossibly tall, devastatingly beautiful. Black suit that looked like it cost more than everything she owned, dark hair pulled back from a face too perfect to be real. Sharp cheekbones, full lips, eyes the color of midnight that locked onto hers with an intensity that stole her breath. Heat flooded her body despite the cold, starting low in her belly and spreading upward until her cheeks burned. "You must be Elena." His voice was deep, smooth as aged whiskey. It vibrated through her chest and settled lower, spreading warmth to places that made her face flame. The new maid. She nodded, unable to speak. Her throat had gone bone dry. His gaze traveled over her face slowly, deliberately. Something flickered in those dark eyes that made her skin prickle with awareness. "I'm Adrian Blackthorn." He stepped aside, but not far enough. She had to brush past him, her shoulder grazing his chest. The scent hit her, pine and rain and something darker that made her head swim. "Welcome." The entrance hall swallowed her. Marble floors stretched into shadows, a crystal chandelier overhead dripping with crystals that caught the candlelight. Dozens of candles burned in wall sconces, their flames dancing. The air smelled like beeswax and something metallic and sweet that should have repulsed her but didn't. "Your room is on the 3rd floor. The staff left last month. You'll be alone." Adrian walked ahead, his footsteps making no sound. His movements were too fluid, too graceful, like a predator stalking. "My daughter and I keep to the east wing." Daughter. The posting hadn't mentioned a child. They climbed the curving staircase, the banisters smooth as glass under her palm. Portraits lined the walls, people with those same midnight eyes, all impossibly beautiful, all vaguely threatening. "There's one thing you should know." Adrian stopped on the landing and turned to face her. He was too close. Elena could see his individual lashes, his too pale skin with no warmth in his cheeks. "My daughter Lily, she's deaf." Elena's breath caught. Most maids couldn't handle it." His jaw tightened, a muscle jumping there. "They treated her like she was broken, or they ignored her entirely, as if she wasn't worth the effort." Anger flickered in his eyes, dark and dangerous and ancient. "I won't do that." The words came out firm despite her whisper. Adrian went very still, his eyes fixed on her with searing intensity. "You know sign language?" "My little brother was born deaf. I learned when I was 7. She didn't mention he'd died, that she hadn't signed since his funeral, that her hands ached for that silent, beautiful language. Something shifted in Adrian's expression. His eyes darkened. He took a step toward her, then stopped himself, stepped back instead. "I see." His voice was carefully controlled now, distant. "That's fortunate." He turned away quickly, led her down the hall without looking back. They stopped at a white door covered in colorful stickers. "Lily," Adrian knocked gently, his demeanor softening. "Someone's here to meet you." The door cracked. A small face peered out. Elena's heart melted. 6 years old. Dark curls, huge brown eyes, purple unicorn dress, pink hearing aids. She stared at Elena, suspicious and guarded. Elena knelt to her level and signed. "Hello, my name is Elena. What's your name?" Lily's eyes went huge. Her mouth fell open. Behind her, Adrian made a choked sound. "You can sign?" Lily's hands flew up excitedly. "Really?" "Really. I had a deaf brother. He taught me. Where is he now? Elena's chest tightened. He's gone, but I remember everything. Lily's face crumpled with sympathy. Then she took Elena's hand, small fingers, warm and trusting. I'm sorry about your brother, but I'm happy you're here. No one ever talks to me. Elena's eyes burned. Lily pulled her inside. Rainbow walls, toys everywhere, art table by the window. Do you want to color? I'd love to. They sat together at the little table. Lily pushed over a coloring book, A Castle at Night, the princess colored purple with silver stars in her hair. Elena picked up a blue crayon. The wax felt smooth under her fingers. She started filling the sky with long, careful strokes. Lily watched for a moment, her brown eyes tracking Elena's movements. Then her hands moved, tentative. The other maids never played with me. They thought I couldn't understand things because I can't hear. But I can understand. I understand everything. They just never tried to talk to me the right way. I know. Elena signed with one hand, continued coloring with the other. Not hearing doesn't mean not understanding. It just means you understand differently. You use your eyes and your hands and your heart. That's just as good. Maybe even better. Because you notice things other people miss. Lily's smile was sunshine breaking through storm clouds. She picked up a pink crayon and started coloring the princess's dress with careful concentration. Her tongue stuck out slightly as she worked. They colored in comfortable silence. But it wasn't empty silence. It was full and rich. The scratch of crayons on paper, the rustle of pages turning, the soft sound of Lily humming. She couldn't hear herself, but she felt the vibrations in her throat. Elena recognized the melody, a lullaby her own brother used to hum. You're really good at coloring, Lily signed after a few minutes. You stay inside the lines. The last maid just scribbled and didn't care. That's because coloring with you matters to me, Elena signed. Everything you do matters. Lily's eyes filled with tears, but they were happy tears. She reached across the table and squeezed Elena's hand, just for a moment. Then went back to her princess. A shadow fell across the table. Adrian stood in the doorway. Suit jacket gone, sleeves rolled, pale forearms, corded muscle. He stared at them with raw emotion, longing and grief and something hungry that made her pulse skip. His eyes met hers, held. The air went electric. Papa? Lily jumped up, signing rapidly. She knows sign language. Can she stay forever? Adrian's eyes never left Elena's face. We'll see, little one. Something in his voice, dark and wanting, made heat pool low in her belly. It's time for dinner. Would you like Elena to join us, Lily? Yes, please. She's staff, Adrian said carefully, but his eyes were begging Elena to stay. I'd like that, Elena whispered. The dining room was massive. Candles and silver candelabras cast dancing shadows. Adrian pulled out her chair, fingers brushing her shoulder. Just a whisper of contact, but it burned. She gasped softly. He paused, hand lingering, then pulled away as if burned. Silver domes covered their plates. Roasted chicken, glazed vegetables, steaming potatoes. Elena's stomach growled. Please, eat. Adrian's eyes were on her face, watching intensely. Elena cut into the chicken. Perfect, tender. Rich flavor burst across her tongue. She couldn't stop the small sound of pleasure. Adrian's eyes darkened. His fingers tightened on his fork. Lily signed between bites, asking about colors and animals. But Elena was constantly aware of Adrian, the way he watched her, the way his gaze tracked every movement, the way he barely touched his own food. You're not hungry? Elena signed and spoke. I ate earlier, but tonight is special. The way he said it sent shivers down her spine. After dinner, Lily showed Elena her butterflies, frames covering one wall, wings every color imaginable. This one's my favorite, a monarch. Papa says they fly thousands of miles to find home. Even though they've never been there, they know the way. They're beautiful, just like you. Lily blushed, pressing her face against Elena's side. A clock chimed 8 times. Bedtime, Adrian signed, his voice rough. Lily hugged Elena tight. Will you be here tomorrow? Promise you won't leave? I promise. Lily ran to her father. He scooped her up, kissed her forehead gently. Elena started to slip out. Elena, wait. Adrian's voice stopped her. I need to speak with you. It's important. Her heart hammered. He led her to a small sitting room. 2 velvet couches, a crackling fire. He closed the door. The click sounded loud. Wine? He poured red liquid without waiting. Their fingers brushed as she took it. Ice-cold touch, but it sent heat racing up her arm. The wine was rich, dark, slightly metallic. It warmed her. Adrian stood by the fire, glass forgotten. The flames painted him gold and shadow. I've had 17 maids in 2 years. Lily refused to come out of her room after the last one left. She stopped eating, drawing. I thought I was losing her. Elena's chest tightened. Tonight was the first time in 6 months I've heard her laugh. You gave me back my daughter in 3 hours. He turned. His eyes blazed. Do you know what that means? He moved toward her with predatory grace. I need to ask you something. He was right in front of her, so close she could feel the cold radiating off him, so close his breath ghosted across her face, smelling like wine and copper. Stay. With Lily. With... He stopped himself, jaw clenching. I can offer you anything. Name your price. Be Lily's companion, her teacher, her mother. You want me to... Elena couldn't finish. I know this is insane. We just met. He took her hand, ice against warmth. But I've been searching for 2 years. Then you walked through my door. Lily loves you already. Her instincts are never wrong. His thumb stroked her knuckles, gentle but possessive. I'm desperate. I have so little time left, and I need to know Lily will be cared for, loved, protected. Time? What do you mean? His expression went dark. I'm dying, Elena. 5 years at most. When I'm gone, Lily will have no one. She'll be orphaned, alone. Horror washed through her. How? It doesn't matter. What matters is securing her future. Someone who will love her when I'm gone. Someone who speaks her language. His hands cupped her face, cold but eyes burning. Someone like you. Elena's heart hammered. I can't. I barely know you. I'm asking you to save my daughter's life. I'm begging. His voice cracked. I never beg, not in 200 years, but I'm begging now. 200. She looked at him, really looked. 2 pale skin, 2 perfect features, cold flesh, ancient eyes. You're not human. No. He stepped back. I'm a vampire, one of the last. Lily is half human, half vampire. Her deafness came from mixed bloodlines. He turned away, shoulders rigid. That's why maids left. They sensed something wrong. They felt my cold touch, the hunger in my eyes, and they ran. But I can't let Lily suffer for what I am. Elena stood frozen. Vampires. She should run, scream, flee, but all she thought about was Lily's face, the joy when Elena signed, the desperate loneliness. Does it hurt her, being half vampire? Adrian turned slowly, shock flickering. That's what you want to know? Does it hurt her? No, she's healthy, strong. She'll live longer than humans. But the deafness is permanent. Then it doesn't matter what you are. Lily needs someone. I can be that someone. Hope flared in his eyes, bright and desperate. You'll stay? I have conditions. I won't be staff. If I'm Lily's mother, I need to be her equal, part of this family. His eyes widened. I want to adopt her, legally. My name on her birth certificate, her mother in every way that matters. Elena's hands shook, but her voice was steady. So when you're gone, she stays with me. Just me. Adrian stared. Then he closed the distance in 2 strides. His hands cupped her face, eyes blazing with wonder. You would do that? For a child you met hours ago? For Lily. She deserves a mother who will fight for her. Yes, God, yes, anything. I'll give you whatever you need. His thumb brushed her cheekbone. The touch was gentle, but heat flickered in his eyes now, dark and hungry and barely controlled. There's only one way to make you legally her mother before I die. His voice dropped to a whisper. You would have to marry me. Elena's breath stopped. The word hung between them like a thunderclap. Marry you, she repeated, her voice barely audible. Marry me. Tonight. Now. Adrian's eyes bored into hers with desperate intensity. Be my wife, Lily's mother. Give her the family she deserves. Give me the peace of knowing she'll be cared for when I'm gone. This was insane. Impossible. She'd known him for 5 hours. He was a vampire. A dying vampire who wanted her to marry him so she could raise his daughter after his death. But when Elena looked into his eyes, she didn't see manipulation or calculation. She saw desperation. Raw, terrible desperation. She saw a father's fierce, primal need to protect his child even from beyond the grave, to ensure that the little girl with the bright smile and pink hearing aids would never be alone. And something else. Something that made her breath catch and her pulse race. She saw want, hunger, barely restrained desire. He wanted her, not just as a mother for Lily, but as a woman. His eyes had been tracking her all evening like she was prey. The way his hands lingered when they touched. The way his breath caught when she smiled. The way he looked at her mouth when she spoke. He wanted her, and he was fighting it with everything he had because it was inappropriate, because she was supposed to be staff, because he was dying and had no right to ask for more than he was already taking. But he wanted her anyway. The truth of it burned in his midnight eyes. And God help her, she wanted him too. This cold, beautiful, desperate creature who loved his daughter so fiercely he was willing to beg a stranger to save her. Yes, the word came out breathless. Yes, I'll marry you. Something fierce and possessive flashed across Adrian's face. His hands tightened on her cheeks, not quite gentle anymore. You understand what this means? His voice was low, dangerous. You'll be mine, my wife, bound to me and this house and this family. You won't be able to just leave, not without destroying Lily, not without breaking the heart of a 6-year-old girl who's already been abandoned too many times. I understand. And when I die, you'll be trapped here. His voice went harsh, brutal, like he was trying to scare her away. Alone in this massive house with a child who will outlive you by centuries. You'll grow old while she stays young. You'll wither and die while she's still a child, and she'll have to watch it happen. Just like she's watching me die now. Elena's chest tightened at the pain in his voice. You'll have no life of your own, Adrian continued relentlessly. No freedom, no chance at love or happiness or a normal family. You'll be tied to this house, to her, forever. Is that really what you want? Stop. Elena placed her hand over his, feeling the ice of his skin. Stop listing all the reasons I should say no. Stop trying to scare me away. I've already said yes, Adrian. I'm not changing my mind. His eyes searched hers desperately, looking for doubt, hesitation, fear, the first sign that she was making a terrible mistake. He found none. Why? The question came out raw, broken. Why would you do this? You don't know us. You don't owe us anything. Why would you tie yourself to a dying vampire and his deaf daughter? Because Lily deserves a mother who will fight for her, who will love her unconditionally, who will see her as perfect exactly as she is. Elena's voice was steady. Sure. And I can be that mother. I want to be that mother. Even if it costs you everything? Even then. Adrian's eyes closed. A single tear tracked down his pale cheek. Then marry me, he whispered. Marry me tonight, before I come to my senses and realize I have no right to ask this of you. Before you realize what you're agreeing to and run screaming from this house. He led her through dark hallways, down hidden stairs, to a heavy door. Inside was a chapel, ancient, stained glass catching moonlight in jeweled colors, hundreds of candles, a white-haired priest at the altar. Father Michael, we're ready. The ceremony was short, Latin words echoing. Adrian's responses steady, hand tight around hers. I do, Elena said clearly. Adrian slid a ring on her finger, gold, dark red stone like frozen blood. With this ring I thee wed, and bind our souls as one. You are married, the priest said. Adrian pulled her close, hands cupping her face. He kissed her, not chastely, on the mouth, deep and claiming and full of barely restrained want. His lips were cold, but the kiss was fire. She gasped, and he deepened it with a growl. When he pulled back, they were breathless, his eyes wild, almost glowing. Mine, he whispered against her lips. Yours, Elena breathed. He led her through the manor in charged silence. Stopped outside Lily's room. She'll be so happy. We'll tell her in the morning. He took her to the master bedroom, enormous four-poster bed, roaring fire, walls of books. I'll sleep in the sitting room. This marriage is for Lily. You don't have to... Adrian, he stopped. I know why you married me. For Lily. I understand. She took a step toward him. But that kiss wasn't for Lily. His eyes darkened. No. You want me. Yes. God help me, yes. Since you walked through my door. Since you signed to my daughter. Since you smiled at her like she was the most precious thing. He moved toward her, control fraying. But I'm dying. I have nothing to offer except grief. I have no right to want you. You're giving me Lily. You're giving me a family. That's everything. Elena closed the distance, put her hand on his chest. His heart beat there, slow and faint. I want you too. I know it's crazy, but I do. Adrian's control shattered. He pulled her against him, kissed her with hunger that stole her breath. His hands slid into her hair, tilted her head back to devour her mouth. Elena. Her name was prayer and curse. We shouldn't, but we will. She met his eyes. Unless you don't want... He kissed her again, hard and claiming. I want. God, I want. His voice was ragged. But I'm cold. Dead. I can't give you warmth. Then let me warm you. She reached for his shirt buttons. His hand caught hers. If we do this, there's no going back. Even in death, I'll be bound to you. Good. I don't want to be let go. His eyes flashed red. The monster beneath the man. She didn't flinch. You should be terrified. I could kill you, drain you. I'm a predator. You're also a father who loves his daughter, a man who's been alone too long, a husband who needs his wife. She kissed him gently. Adrian's resistance crumbled. He picked her up effortlessly, carried her to the bed, laid her down with reverence. I'll be gentle, he whispered against her throat. I'll make this good. I know. He kissed her slowly, thoroughly, learning her taste, the curve of her jaw, the pulse that made her gasp. His hands were cold, but everywhere he touched left fire. The candles burned low. The fire died to embers. In the master bedroom of Blackthorn Manor, a vampire king and his mortal bride consummated their impossible marriage. Morning came. Elena woke to pale sunlight, warm in blankets and cold arms that no longer felt cold. Adrian watched her with wonder and grief. Good morning, wife. Good morning, husband, she smiled. I don't deserve you. Maybe not, but Lily does. A knock. Papa? Adrian pulled on his shirt, opened the door enough to sign. Good morning, little one. Give me a moment. I have a surprise. Lily's eyes went wide. Adrian looked back. Elena nodded, pulling on a robe. He opened the door fully. Lily stood in unicorn pajamas, hair a wild tangle. She looked between them, confused. Elena signed. Good morning, sweetheart. Lily's hands moved cautiously. Why are you in Papa's room? Because your Papa and I got married last night. Elena knelt, took Lily's hands. I'm your mother now, forever, if you want me. Lily's eyes went huge, mouth opened, closed. Married? Like husband and wife? Like husband and wife, which means I'm your mother, your real mother, if you want. Lily stared. Then she launched herself at Elena with a cry that Elena felt rather than heard, arms wrapped around her neck, squeezing so tight Elena couldn't breathe. Lily's small body shook with sobs, deep gulping sobs that came from somewhere ancient and hurt. How long had this child been waiting for someone to choose her, to want her, to stay? I have a mama? Lily's signs were frantic when she finally pulled back, tears streaming down her face, making her cheeks shine. A real mama who can talk to me, who understands me. A real mama, forever and always, I promise. And you won't leave? Lily's hands shook as she signed. Even when I'm bad? Even when I'm too loud or too quiet or can't hear when you call me? Even when I'm different from other kids? Elena's heart cracked open. How many times had this little girl been abandoned for being exactly who she was? Especially then. Elena wiped the tears from Lily's cheeks with gentle thumbs. Because you're not different, sweetheart. You're perfect. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. And I love you. Not because you're my job or my responsibility, but because you're my daughter, and nothing will ever change that. Lily started crying again, but these were different tears, happy tears that soaked Elena's robe and made her own eyes burn. I love you too, Mama, Lily signed. The first time she'd used that word. Mama, it hung in the air between them like a gift. I love you so much. Adrian watched with pure heartbreak and pure joy. This was what he wanted, his daughter happy and loved. But he knew what Elena didn't. Vampire diseases worked slowly. He had months, not years. He'd be dead before spring. He'd found his soulmate only to lose her. But watching his daughter in his wife's arms, he thought maybe it was worth it. Maybe 5 months of happiness beat 200 years of emptiness. Lily pulled back. Can we have pancakes? Mama, do you make pancakes? Elena laughed. I can learn. Come on! Lily grabbed both their hands. Adrian caught Elena's hand, stopped her. He kissed her, soft and sweet and full of everything he couldn't say. Thank you, he whispered, for giving us this. Always. They followed Lily downstairs, the little girl bouncing between them, one hand in Elena's, one in Adrian's, into the kitchen where the cook was already preparing breakfast, the smell of butter and vanilla filling the warm space. Lily chattered excitedly, her hands moving so fast they blurred, telling the cook about her new mama, about the wedding, about how happy she was. For the first time in 200 years, Blackthorn Manor was filled with laughter, real laughter, the kind that came from joy, not politeness, the kind that echoed off the stone walls and made the old house feel young again. Outside, the sun rose over the dark towers, painting the gray stone gold and rose. Light spilled through the windows in streams of honey, warmed the cold stones that had been frozen for centuries. Inside, a vampire king sat at the kitchen table with his mortal wife and their deaf daughter, eating pancakes drowning in syrup while the little girl told them stories in sign language about butterflies and dreams. A family, imperfect and impossible and absolutely, undeniably real.